Hello there. Welcome back yet again to an exciting and informative section with Guided Dreams. My name is Dr. Siti Onyema. Welcome to Guided Dreams, your number one DIY education and migration hub. In today's video, we are digesting an immigration pathway that each year, especially January of every year, is capped. That is what I mean by cap, is the number of applicants invited to apply resets to zero. So why so? This is basically because each year a fixed number of applicants allotted to these pilot programs are filled, and once it is closed, January of the following year, the number resets to zero. So this simply means that you always have a fresh opportunity every January of every year to attempt to migrate to Canada using these pilot schemes. Remember, this is on first come, first served basis. So therefore, the issue of incomplete application should by all means be ruled out. So if you are here and you've been looking for a way to migrate to Canada, these two immigration pathways will be accepting permanent residency applications from new applicants in January 2024. But remember, the number of slots are actually limited. So ideally, the process is completed within 6 months and offers the opportunity to come with your family who will be issued open work permit. Isn't that exciting? As you are coming in, even your dependents, your spouse, whoever that's coming in with you can as well start to work even from day one, because they will be issued open work permit. While you, when you come through this pathway, you'll be issued a temporary work permit. Normally, it is tied to a particular occupation, but we will get into that as we proceed in this section. So I implore you to like this video, share, and subscribe even as we journey into these two pilot programs, two of them that will reset come January 2024. So another exciting thing about these two pathways is that actually you do not require any LMIA. What you need to know is what do I mean by when I say you do not require LMIA? That is the labor market impact assessment. There are other eligibility criteria you need to meet, which we will also go in as we proceed in this discussion today. Also, very importantly, assuming you are here on this I wanted to say, if you are here and you've applied to these pathways before and you got rejected, I will show you today why you were rejected. I will show you today why you were rejected, and I also show those of you who are new to these pathways the necessary supporting documents you need to put in to make your application have a smooth sail. Because with me, what we teach is what will make your application to sail through unhindered, not be marked incomplete and rejected. Because remember, I said these two pathways, they have limited number of spots and it's on first come, first serve basis. So if you're excited already about these opportunities, help us to smash that like button and kindly share this video and subscribe to this channel. Now, what are these two pilot programs and how do I get ready for the rain come January 2024? I call it the rain because this is like a smooth sailing. Once you meet the eligibility criteria, you are in, and remember, it's on first come, first serve. That is why I'm telling you in December what's going to happen in January, so that you get ready for what? The rain. Now, the first pilot program is what you call the Home Child Care Pilot Program. The Home Child Care Provider Pilot Program. And the second one is the Home Support Worker Pilot Program. Home Support Worker Pilot Program. What really does the Home Child Care Provider Pilot Program entail? It simply entails that you must care for children in your own home or in your employer's private home. Either in your own home or in your employer's private home. Now, it simply means that the location cannot be an institution, such as the daycare centers. No, you can't work there. It doesn't qualify. But however, remember that you don't need to live in your employer's home to qualify. Okay, so you can do that, go in there, do your work, and come back home. But also remember that if your experience is as a foster parent, then that doesn't qualify as well. Now, what are these specific examples of these jobs we're talking about? We're talking about child care living caregiver. In a case where someone employs you to live in their home to help them take care of their children, that qualifies as well. Or a child care provider in a private home, in your own private home. You run child care services in your private home. That also qualifies. You're a nanny, okay? You are a helper to the parents. You go to the fitness centers, you babysit the kids for parents who are in those centers to exercise, right? So that also qualifies. Or maybe in the shopping centers, right? You babysit in shopping centers. That also qualifies under this home child care pilot program as well. Now, when we talk about the Home Support Worker Program, that is the NOC 44101, lest I forget, the one we call the Home Child Care Provider is NOC 44100. Okay, and this Home Support Worker is NOC 44101. What does it entail? It simply entails that you must care for someone who needs help from a home support worker in your employer's private home. Okay, the location as well cannot be an institutional setting like the what do you call it now, the nursing homes. No, it wouldn't be in a nursing home. That doesn't qualify. You don't also need to live in your employer's home for you to qualify. Okay, that's also a very good thing. You can do your thing from your home or just move into your employer's home, do your work, and go back home. Okay, so you mustn't live there for it to qualify as a home support worker. No. Now, what are specific examples of the jobs you can find here? Some of them include a home support worker, a living caregiver to a senior person, or you are supporting someone with disability, maybe someone who is autistic or things like that, someone who can't really, maybe someone recovering from addiction, a personal aid, someone who has difficulty moving. You help them to move around, run errands and things like that, help them to take their medications, take them to games. And the interesting part of this is if they are going for a game, you are also going for that game, but you are not paying. They are paying for you. So those are the perks, right, you get from these kind of jobs. And also personal care attendants, okay, or what you call the respite workers. So respite workers as people, maybe someone can't really come in to take a shift, you are called upon to fill in for them, okay, and take up that shift. You are a respite worker. So having clarified the responsibilities attached to these two programs, which of them or what are the options one can apply through? Actually, you have two options. One option is what you call the gaining experience category. The gaining experience category, or the direct to permanent residency category. Let me break it down. Now, when you talk about the gaining experience category, it simply means that, now remember, that's another new development for these pilot programs this year. Okay, Now the eligibility criteria was reduced from 24 months down to 12 months in the past 3 years. So what do I mean by that? Take for example in the gaining experience category. Now the experience you are required is that you must have not less than you must have less than 12 months. You must have less than 12 months of qualifying work experience for you to apply for the home child care provider pilot or the home support worker pilot under the gaining experience category. Of course, as long as you meet the other eligibility requirements. So your experience will be less than 12 for you to go under the gaining experience category. Now, what are the other requirements you are meant to have? You should have a valid full-time offer. Now that gets scary. How do I get this offer or things like that? Now stay with me on this video. I'll tell you how to get those offers, right? Now one thing I will tell you off the bat is that your job offer in this gaining experience category should not come from a business. Okay, unlike the LMIA route. Now if you're interested in migrating through the LMIA route, we have a comprehensive video. Check out this video for the LMIA route. Okay, but in this gaining experience category, your job offer should not come from a business, but rather from a private individual seeking someone to take care of their loved one. Okay, it must be from someone hiring you to take care of their loved one or someone who is related to them, maybe their parent or their spouse or their child or something. They can hire you on their own to take care of them. And once you take up that job, that means you are gaining experience, and that experience, once it's up to 12 months, you can use it to apply directly to permanent residency under the second category, which is direct to permanent residency. We will get into that video, that part in a nutshell. So what is the other requirement you need to have? Of course, you should prove that you can communicate in English or French. So therefore, you have to have a Canadian language benchmark, which is popularly called the CLB, right? Now, in this one, the is a little bit lower than if you're going through the express entry route. Okay. Now, the CLB for this category, it requires that you in your reading, your band could be band 4, but in the rest of the other modules you should have at least band 5. Okay, in rest of the listening, the speaking, and the writing, you should have at least band 5. Okay, so you should have a post secondary education, at least a diploma. Okay, any past experience working in this field of caring for children, caring for those in need would also count, even if there are experiences you had in Canada or outside Canada as well. They would count towards your eligibility criteria. Okay, so if you found this video helpful already for now, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share. That will help us grow, and thank you for that. Now keep watching and I will let you know the supporting documents required. And for those of you that I said what might have made you to lose out when you applied previously through to this route, this is here you have to listen attentively, and I will show you what made you to fail before so that you don't do it again. Now before we get into that, how does this process work? Very simple. Now you apply to either of these, either the home child care or you have the home support worker, depending on where you want to work in, right? We have individual differences. Okay, some people don't like taking care of kids, some do, some don't like taking care of the elderly, so you have to choose which one you will enjoy, right? Because if you take up a job that you don't enjoy, you can agree with me that you don't look forward to showing up. Okay, so choose wisely. Second thing, you have to submit a work permit alongside a work permit application alongside with your permanent residency application, and you have to pay the required fees. Remember, point number one, why some of you missed out the last time could be because you did not put in your work permit application together with this. Now, your application will be marked incomplete if you do not have your work permit application together with this permanent residency application. Now, once you've made this application, you pay the requisite fees. If I remember clearly, the application fee for this is if I remember clearly, is $570, and the right to permanent residency is $515, giving you a total of 1,085 Canadian dollars. Now, if you want to put in your spouse at the same time, you have to pay $1,085. If you have any dependent child that you are adding to your application, that will cost you an extra $155. Okay, so once you pay all these fees and you meet the requirements, you'll be issued a temporary work permit to work in Canada temporarily. Now, remember, this is an occupation, what you call the occupation restricted work permit, meaning that it lets you as a caregiver to work for any employer, but in that category. You will not have this work permit and you go and work maybe in industry. No, it must be under the, either the home care where you applied or the home support worker. Remember that, but for any employer whatsoever. Now, what is the benefit of this? It gives you an opportunity to gain at least 12 months of working experience to qualify for permanent residence. So once you are doing this job and you gain 12 months of experience, you send your proof of working experience to IRCC, proving that you have obtained enough work experience, and you wait for their final decision. Ideally, within 6 months, they will make their decision and you get your permanent residency. Now, if this video has been exciting and insightful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Okay, now, what are the supporting documentation you need to put in order to ensure that your application is watertight? Very watertight. Whoever brings it doesn't have any choice but to grant you your work permit. Okay, now you need to have your previous employer's reference letters. Okay, you have to have your employment record as well. If you're a contract staff, you get your work contract. You also have to prove as well that you have received income from that employer. It could be through providing your pay stub or your pay slips, as the case may be. Then as well, you have to prove that you have that relevant education. Include your diplomas, include your bachelor's, include any certification you have and things like that. Okay, now if you've been working in Canada, you have to include your work permit. Okay, you have to include your work permit. So these are the documents you need to have, and get these documents ready against January 2024, when the cap for these two pilot programs, the home child care worker pilot and the home support worker pilot, will be reset to 0. And like I said, it is on first come, first serve basis. Getting value? Please like and subscribe. Now remember, the second option is what I call the direct to permanent residency category. The first one is gaining experience. You have less than 12 months, but direct to permanent residency category, you should have at least 12 months in the past 3 years, and those experiences must be in Canada. So that is the difference between the gaining experience category and the direct to permanent residency category. Okay, so what is the, or what are rather, the eligibility criteria? Now, you have to meet, of course, communication in English or French, which is basic here in Canada. So your CLB must be band 5 across all in this case. Now you have to also show that you have a post-secondary education credential that is equivalent to Canadian. So if your bachelor's or diploma was obtained outside Canada, you have to do what you call the credential evaluation. Okay, how to go to West and get your credentials evaluated. Pay the requisite fees, and they will let you know if it's equivalent. They will let you know in writing if it's equivalent to that of Canada, right? So with that, you can actually apply. Okay, and you must also, of course, show that you are admissible to Canada. You have no criminal records. You are not extremely ill, if you are a little bit, maybe hypertensive, or it doesn't really affect you, okay? But if you are extremely ill, some of these illnesses that will eat into their health sector, it might affect you in one way or the other. And of course, you must plan to live outside the province of Quebec. Quebec is not covered under this pilot program. They have their own different way of doing things, okay? You must also prove that your experience is more than 12 months. You have 12 months of full-time working experience in Canada in the past 36 months. Now, that's another change that was made from 24 months to qualify now to 12 months. Okay, so be updated. You must wait for you to have that 12 months of full-time experience before you apply. That's another mistake some people do. Okay, you start a work immediately, maybe month 10 or month 11, you apply. No, you must have to wait to clock 12 months of working experience in Canada before you approach them. And reason is very simple. Any other experience you gain after your application doesn't count. So that must be obtained before you do what? You apply. But remember, if your experience is less than 12, go through the gaining experience category. But if it's more than 12 and it's in Canada, you can go to direct to permanent residency in Canada. Now, to sum it all, to bring it all, what are the differences between these two? To recap, in the gaining experience category, your experience should be less than 12 months. In the direct to permanent residency category, your experience should at least be 12 months and above. In the gaining experience category, your English language is required to be 5. Reading could be 4, but others must be 5. Okay? Now, in the direct to permanent residency category, your CLB must be band 5 across all the 4. Now, no matter the category you choose to come through, both of them will avail you the opportunity of bringing your family here in Canada. And as you apply and to list anyone in that family, once your application is approved for permanent residency, all of them, and that's the beauty of this, anybody on your list is automatically a permanent resident in Canada. Okay. As you are coming as well, another important thing is this. As you are coming as a temporary worker, your spouse or your dependents, like I mentioned before, they can also come with you on open work permit. Okay, so at the end of the day, everyone will get permanent residency once you, the principal applicant, but you must have listed them in your application, will also get their own permanent residency. Now, this is an amazing opportunity. I believe you have found this video helpful and you cannot afford to miss this. So get those documents ready and wait for January 1st, 2024, when the application window will be open for these two categories: the home child care provider pilot and the home support worker pilot. Wait for January 1, 2024 when the door will be open. But while waiting, get your documents ready. Okay, now if you found this video helpful, please help us to like this video, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel to get more value as we move on. As well, that will help us grow. Now, the link to the different changes in this program and the details about this program, you will find them in this video's description. Thank you everyone for being with us, and I'll see you in yet another one. Bye-bye.